So you might normally expect to see SRV playing a guitar that looks a little bit like this, you know, with pickups like this. But actually, sometimes you saw him playing a guitar with pickups more like this. And I recently got the chance to borrow this guitar off a friend and thought I'd start a series of other pickups. Lipsticks, Firebirds, Trons, etc. So we've got a bunch of videos coming up, starting with this one. I want to know, why did he use these and what do they give you that a normal Strat pickup maybe doesn't, or why are they different? So, the lipstick pickup it's quite an unusual pickup. It was invented by Danelectro. Basically, I think he wanted to find a cheap way of making pickups. His guitars were sort of, more budget-minded, often made of plywood, often hollow. And he basically got a job lot of lipstick tubes from a manufacturer who had surplus and made a simple pickup by just winding some copper wire around a large bar magnet and stuffing it inside the tube. Those original ones were actually bigger than a standard length sort of Strat pickup. So the ones that are in this custom shop, which is from the late 90s, I believe are most likely to be Seymour Duncan ones. From what I can gather, that's what Fender were using. And Seymour Duncan have made these in a standard Strat size. So you can still put them in a Strat pickguard. In the original Danelectros, there was a very interesting sound. Obviously Jimmy Page used it to get sort of ragged, sort of riffy sounds out of it. They, with the big bar magnet, there was probably less clarity and a bit of a smear to it, a bit of distortion, more so than a single coil generally. But I think by changing the size back to this, I'm sure they've refined it some way or another. And then putting it in a completely different type of guitar, it sounds a lot more like a Strat pickup than you'd expect it to. But actually, I would want to compare it more to a Telecaster pickup. That's how it feels when I play it. Or to the sort of late 60s, early 70s type Strat pickups. Earlier Strat pickups, which we're going to hear in a second, that style, well, they have probably got a bit more sort of harmonic information, a bit more depth to them. But what I really like about these lipstick pickups is the clarity. And I think Stevie Ray Vaughan, he was using massive sounding amps and tube screamers and fuzz and everything. I think he probably enjoyed the clarity that you're getting in this Strat sized lipstick pickup in a Strat body, it is very clear. It doesn't have a lot of extra harmonic information, furry edges and things, and it doesn't sort of sustain as much as a normal Strat pickup. This is just my experience. But what it does do is give you a very direct attack and a lot of clarity, especially in the low end. So, yeah, I think we should hear a comparison between the two types of pickups. Just to say that throughout this video I'm using the Duelist, the string singer side of the Duelist, like a tube screamer. It's got the SRV mod switch on the side, and I'm going through the 2 Rock Classic reverb, which is pretty SRV-ish, except there was one earlier clip that was clean, but for the rest of the video as well, it will just be that setup. So I'm definitely finding when I'm listening back to these clips and when I was playing it that the actual Strat pickups, they have more depth and they have more harmonic content. They're a bit more interesting to listen to in isolation. They've got a bit more low end. They've definitely got a bit more output. Everything was a bit louder. And overall, they're just more textural and interesting, I would say, to listen to. But that's not everything. You can't equate that sort of thing to better. It's what fits. And I think in a mix that these lipstick pickups would definitely cut through really well. They don't have too much other sort of, like calling it textural information, like harmonics, whatever you want to call it. There's not too much of that stuff hanging around the notes. So it just sort of cuts through. And I think that's a really useful thing. It definitely drops the low end as well, which again is really great. So I can see probably why you would be interested in using these. It's at this point I should add, though, that I'm not sure how much of a concerted decision SRV would have made to use those, whether he just fancied it or actually, made a decision. But he could have played through anything. It really wouldn't have made a massive difference to the music he was making. But I could see, if he was thinking about it, why he might have chosen these. There's a sort of tension to them, and they don't go over the top compressed, even with all the effects and everything. So I say overall, if you're looking for something new and different for your Strat, these lipstick type pickups are really interesting and definitely worth a try. It's not about recreating SRV, you can just play them as your own thing. I'm sure other people have done it as well. They are not better per se, they're not really worse, but they definitely are subtly different, and depending on the type of pickups that you already have, they could be something you could look for if you're trying to cut through a mix. I reckon at their best in a sort of actual live band situation, whereas if you're recording with normal Strat pickups, you can EQ and produce any, you know, low end that you want out, or what, you know, obviously you can master it in a way that allows the guitar to shine. But when you're playing live, you want to cut through, you want to cut away some of that low end information, and I think the lipstick pickups do that for you. So for that purpose, I think they're great, and I found them really addictive to play. There's something about the speed of the attack that's really great fun and allows you just to sort of play in a pretty clean sound. You can really attack it. So overall, I really like the lipstick pickups. Definitely something I'm going to find a place for in my own guitars. Swap one of my Strats to have lipsticks in. There's a few people making them, so yeah, that would be something to do. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about other types of pickups, then yeah, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, that's much appreciated. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.